You are now listening to the RSL Show on KSL Sports, Utah's largest sports network. Your number one source for everything Real Salt Lake. Utah's number one rated Real Salt Lake podcast.
All right, welcome in. It's a brand new edition of the RSL Show on the KSL Sports Network. Alex Napoles, Josh Clark with you. Let's jump right into some Major League Soccer news and some Real Salt Lake news. We'll start off with, of course, Diogo Luna. We already knew that he was going to be called up to the national team, but now Dominik Marksuk joins him with a call-up for Poland. And then Xavier Gozo going to the U20. Aiden Harazakani called up to the U18. Real Salt Lake guys getting noticed at the international level, Josh.
It's what you like to see, man. It's what you like to see. It means they're doing something right. And it's even better when it's young guys, Monarchs guys, supplemental roster spot guys getting called up. It just means there's good stuff in the pipeline.
Good things coming up, especially what we saw from Aiden Harazakani, who had 2 golazos in that game in the opener for the Real Monarchs. Ended up winning Player of the Match Day for the MLS Next Pro as well. Good things we've seen from Aiden Harazakani. Unfortunately, that means Diogo Luna, Dominik Marksuk, Xavier Gozo, and Aiden all unavailable this weekend. MLS, for some reason, likes to play during international window fixtures, and so Real Salt Lake will take on FC Dallas without Diogo Luna and Dominik Marksuk.
Yeah, that's going to hurt. That's going to hurt a lot, actually. I'm very curious how this game's approached without those 2 pieces.
Those are big guys to miss, man.
And really, you have Wolf,
Lachlan,
and Brooke, if he can. I mean, that's going to signal a lot if he does not play on Saturday.
Yes.
Right?
It will be very telling.
Outside of that, I mean, I guess Hidalgo. And that's what I'm terrified of seeing is Hidalgo playing on Saturday instead of, Lachlan. I'm oddly nervous for that.
Other Major League Soccer news, it looks like promotion relegation is coming to the States, Josh.
Cool.
Just not for Real Salt Lake.
I love that they're trying this. I don't see in what world they can really rival MLS for the top league in the States. Right? It's going to be really hard to supplant teams that already exist, like in cities that already exist. And what's left are not very big markets, right? So good luck. I hope it's entertaining. I'll probably watch it. But I don't see them, taking the top of the throne here in the States and Canada. I should be fair.
I think USL has a long way to go. I think promotion relegation is something that, everybody clamors about and everybody talks about. And it's a want that I think a lot of people like us who watch soccer from all over the world maybe want. I just don't know if USL is really... I mean, it'll work for USL. I just don't know. Like you mentioned, I just don't know if they're ever going to compete with Major League Soccer due to the financial resources that MLS has now compared to the resources that the USL has.
And let's be completely fair.
And the talent.
Right. And let's be completely fair. Like MLS has experienced in the past, USL loses a team every year. Right? They fold.
Yep.
So how are they going to do? I mean, I guess that's one easy promotion spot. But if you're an owner and you're looking to buy a USL team, how does a new franchise look in the USL? Right? There's a lot of questions that I have that aren't maybe the most important, but it just seems odd.
But it does give you something to think about. It does give you something to, to think about down the line, whether or not one MLS ever decides to implement and go the direction of promotion relegation. And of course, can the USL ever really rival Major League Soccer?
I mean, for the MLS's sake, the franchise fees are so enormous. Mm-hmm. Why would you pay that to then be relegated to a team that costs someone $1 million to start? You know what I mean?
Yes.
MLS is never going to do it.
I think eventually they have to.
Maybe I mean, It's going to be a long time, dude.
Probably in the back end of our lives.
Absolutely. I will be a crusty old dying man before this happens. I'll be shocked if it comes sooner than that.
I do think eventually you will have to shift, especially if the popularity of soccer continues to grow, especially if the popularity continues to evolve, right? There's going to be so many cities that don't have teams at the moment that are going to be wanting in, and eventually expansion has to stop. You can't have 50 teams in Major League Soccer.
No, there's already too many.
There is already too many.
Anything past 30 is going to be asinine.
Man, anything past 24 is too much.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, at the point we're at now, like, past 30, we got to stop.
Yeah. Another Major League Soccer news. Let's take a look at some of the results. A 2-2 draw for the New York Red Bulls against Orlando City. Chicago with a 2-1 win over Toronto. Austin going to BMO Stadium in California, beating LAFC 1-0. Charlotte with a 2-0 win over Cincinnati. 0-0 draw between DC United and Montreal. A 2-1 win for New York City FC against New England. Sporting Kansas City coming back. Minnesota was up 3-0 in that one. Sporting Kansas City dropped a 3-0 lead, or came back to tie it up 3-3. And so Minnesota dropped a 3-0 lead. Choking it away, Josh.
Wow, a little bit of sign of life from SKC there.
Yeah, man. In the
Or is
snow.
Minnesota
too,
bad? Or is Minnesota bad? Oh, okay. In the snow, anything can happen. Not going to read too much into it.
Oh, it wasn't that much snow.
Okay.
But it was enough to bring the orange ball out.
Okay.
No, I don't think Minnesota is that bad. But we'll see. Time will tell.
Time
will tell. Vancouver, the last remaining perfect team in Major League Soccer, off to a 4-0 start thanks to a 1-0 win over FC Dallas. Real Salt Lake 2-1 over the Houston Dynamo. We'll get into that one here momentarily. St. Louis with a 1-0 win over Seattle. San Diego draws it 1-1 against Columbus. Colorado with a 2-1 win over San Jose. And then had a chance to watch all the Sunday games. A lot of referee decisions, a lot of VAR decisions that influence these games. You have Nashville with a 3-1 win over Philadelphia. Very clearly penalty that should have been given to Philly when it was 1-1, I believe. Or maybe it was 1-0 Nashville. Can't remember. But very, very clear penalty that wasn't called. VAR doesn't even get involved and just steals a penalty away from Philadelphia.
I mean, the fix will always be in, man.
Yep.
Right? Nothing's perfect. VAR or not.
Portland 1-1 against the LA Galaxy. The Galaxy pick up their first points of the season, but in the 89th minute, another very clear penalty that should have been given to Portland, not called, not even looked at by VAR again, and that one ends in a 1-1 draw.
I remember a few years ago, like, the VAR system broke. Right, it was down, and they wouldn't say it. So I wonder if that's what happened on Sunday. It just wasn't working. There was no communications to the headquarters or whatever.
Possibly, maybe.
Yeah.
Inter Miami takes down Atlanta United 2-1 at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Literally moments before Fafaf Picoult scores the winner, a clear as day handball from Redondo inside the box. Again, no look. No double check, nothing.
Something's up.
A very clear handball from Redondo. Literally within minutes down the field, Fafa Picoult off a header scores the winner. 2-1 Atlanta United. VAR, pro referees, just making a name for themselves on Sunday.
They do what they do best, man.
Ref's gonna ref.
Rip. Back to the pro rel thing real quick.
Yeah.
How fun would it kind of be? I love promotion relegation. I don't love, just top of the table is the champion. It's kind of boring.
Yep.
And we don't have, Champions League spots we're vying for. Legitimate ones, right? Like Champions League and UEFA. It's totally a different animal. So since we don't have those kind of things to look forward to as teams, how about you have promotion relegation, but you still do the playoffs to determine who wins MLS? I think that'd be fun. That'd be fun.
I would like that.
Yeah.
Just basically do like the championship does that already, except it's for promotion. It's not for the
Right.
championship.
Right.
So, you take...
But hear me out. Instead of the bottom 3, you take like the bottom 5 and you make them
a relegation playoff.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Germany does it.
Do they?
Yeah.
That's so dope.
They take, I think, 16th and 17th place, and they make them play against each other.
I would love that.
And
Battle of the losers.
Yeah,
Dude, that would be such a heated
stays
game.
in the league.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, Germany does it, and it's a really interesting game. It causes a lot of issues though, because I think, and I think the French league does something similar. But I've seen videos in the past where, like, obviously the losing team causes a scene because they're relegated now.
Yeah, but that's hilarious, right?
I think
I would never want to be part of it, but it would be fun to be part of.
Was it Saint-Étienne a couple years ago that literally stormed the field and tried to like beat people up?
Yeah, that sounds right. I think Carlos Bocanegra was still playing for him at the time.
I can't remember, but it happens. It happens, and
right. It's fun.
It's exciting games. Imagine Real like playing for their lives in a relegation battle against San Jose, and winner stays in MLS and the other one goes down. I think that'd be awesome.
It would be incredible. I'd never want to experience it. But you almost feel as good as you do if you win a championship at that point. So
yeah, absolutely. I'd take it.
Sounds kind of fun. But I want a playoff going, for the winner and for the loser.
Would you
losers?
Would you still do like the top 9 of each conference like MLS?
No. You would shave it down to like you basically start at the quarters.
Gotcha. Okay.
I
like it.
Yeah.
Will Major League Soccer ever do it again? Who knows?
But you don't do conferences, right? Single table still. Like you would still run a single table and then.
Well, yeah, I think once you get to a point where you have enough teams, you get rid of the East-West.
Right. I feel like they almost could.
Yeah?
Now. I think that'd be way fun. A single table, top 8 get into the playoffs. That would be a lot of fun. That way, and you would get to see everyone play too. How boring is it to watch San Jose at home 3 times?
Hey, not this year. We have an even number, and so we get to see everybody in the West twice.
But it's better. But I want to see everyone, right?
I do agree. I want to see more Eastern Conference teams.
3 or 4 a year, it's kind of boring.
Not playing Red Bulls every once a year. Not playing New England once a year.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see them more often.
And then it eliminates what conference is stronger this year? You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
I'm sick of conferences.
It's very, NFL. It's very NBA.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish, not to say that I'm a Euro snob, because I'm definitely not, but I do wish that MLS would structure it a little bit more like the European leagues.
I completely agree.
Not as far as the calendar, that's a whole different conversation, but I mean just in being able to compete against everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the Premier League, you play everybody twice. In England, in Spain, you play everybody twice, and that'd be more fun.
Yep, just for the variety. Then you don't have to be like, oh, Miami never comes here. I don't get to see Messi. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Let's jump into it, Josh. 2-1, Real Salt Lake wins over the Houston Dynamo. Much needed 3 points, man.
And a much needed win over Houston.
Yes. I think that's probably more important to me right now than the 3 points.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they come together, but getting that weight off our shoulders of Houston being this team that we just cannot beat. I mean, Emeka Anelli said it himself. He's played him 6 times and hasn't beaten him once.
6 times in Houston.
Right. So it was due time.
It was.
Due time.
It was. And it was, what a phenomenal way for Real Salt Lake to start this one. Starting 11, Rafa Cabral, Bodie Hidalgo, Justin Glad, Brian Vera, Sam Junca, Emeka Anelli, Brian Ojeda, Dominic Marchuk, Diogo Gonçalves, Diego Luna, and Ari Pule get the start. Well, I guess kind of. The front is unchanged for Real Salt Lake, but the back line
is changed. Yeah.
The back line, there's a few changes there, but still, less than a minute into the game, similar to what we saw against San Diego with just beautiful build-up play, beautiful passing from Real Salt Lake. Diego gets it to Pio. Pio plays it back to Anelli. Anelli plays it back into Diego. Diego plays it back out to Anelli. Anelli crosses it in, and Diogo Gonçalves this time puts it into the back of the net. I think a much-needed goal for Diogo, a much-needed picture-perfect start for Real Salt Lake.
Yeah, and Real Salt Lake now has a history of scoring very early goals against Houston.
Yeah.
But it's good to see Diogo contribute in the stat line. It'll buy him some grace for now. Now we need to see consistency, right?
Yes.
Not going to hate on him this episode, but now I want consistency. But a beautiful team goal at that. I hate that, you see that it's being crossed as Diogo and you hold your breath, right? I'm glad he finished it, man. Honestly, imagine if he hadn't.
Yes. Honestly, man, I wasn't holding my breath. I feel like in those situations, like, you have to score. You have to score, and I felt that as soon as Emeka crossed it into Diogo, I did feel pretty confident that he was going to bury it. He does. Real Salt Lake is up 1-0. I know that's kind of crazy to say after what happened last week, but nevertheless, Real Salt Lake up 1-0 on the road at Houston, and a great way to start for Real Salt Lake, but immediately Houston turns it on and took control of this game. Real Salt Lake had probably a good 5 minutes to start, and then it was all Houston from there. Eventually, it leads to just a poor foul to give up. Because I think in this situation, right, the player is turned away from the goal, not even looking to really cause any harm. And
there was no real threat.
Yeah. But you commit a silly foul, sets up Jack McGlynn to whip one into the box. Nicely done on the set piece, I guess, from Houston.
Oh, it was a pretty ball. It was a great service.
And Ponce scores. It's 1-1 in the 16th minute.
Yeah, and this is where I started sweating, of course. Just a little PTSD kicking in. But alas, what happens next, Alex?
Well, Bossy scores.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about this one.
Immediately, like moments after Houston goes up 1-1, just horrible clearance from Real Salt Lake. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say it's horrible clearance, but it's a bad clearance.
Right, and bad recovery.
Bad recovery from Real Salt Lake. So, ball down on the other end, cleared away by Houston, ends up on the near sideline. The ball's whipped in. Vera clears it out straight to Bossy, who's at the top with all the time and space in the world at the top of the 18. Brings it down, controls it, hits it to Cabral's near post, bottom corner. It's a beautiful shot from Bossy. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, it is. But again, as victims of this VAR call, you were offsides, bro.
Yes. I think Real Salt Lake could have done better to shut him down at the top of the 18.
The recovery, right?
Yeah.
Getting your shape back was very lacking, lackluster.
You have both the pivots just kind of standing there watching Bossy bring it down. Again, beautiful shot, but Ponce clearly in an offside position. Do I agree with the call?
No, but as victims of it before, I fully support this decision. I get it. I get why the rule's there.
Yes.
But the times we've seen it called are just so questionable. I feel like that's such a hard one to prove, right? Outside of the guy standing directly in front of the goalkeeper. I don't know.
And it's such a weird one because before VAR, you never saw these calls.
No, if you did, they just waved the flag that they were offside because they weren't sure if he got a touch on the ball or something, right? You just didn't know.
And now it seems that, especially in Major League Soccer, it seems like it's happening quite often. I mean, we've
seen it twice ourselves, and that seems like a lot.
I don't know if I agree with the call. I mean, I obviously agree that he's offside. It's a weird one.
It's weird, but it's in our favor, so I accept.
You'll take it.
Yeah, I will take that call in our favor, getting us the 3 points. Then, and especially like I said, we've suffered this call before in the other direction, right? So it's kind of like the universe is just making up for it.
And in this case, I think it honestly was the best thing for Real Salt Lake. Obviously, not only because he takes away Amin Bassi's goal, but it seemed like after that goal, Real Salt Lake kind of woke up, kind of had a oh crap moment in Houston. They were supposed to be down 2-1. I think they realized that they got a little bit lucky to have that one called back, and then all of a sudden Real Salt Lake is playing back to Real Salt Lake ball. They're getting forward, they're creating, so much so that, I mean, it takes a minute, but Real Salt Lake eventually do find the back of the net again, thanks to, again, just beautiful build-up play from Real Salt Lake. Diego Luna, the orchestrator, creating it all. He creates it, he finishes it. The ball eventually ends up at Dominic Markzuk. Markzuk crosses it in. Just a laser of a header from Diego Luna to find the back of the net. And it's 2-1 Real Salt Lake.
Yeah, I don't know if that was a cross or a shot.
Still don't know. I've watched the replay like 4 times, and I still don't know.
You know what's sad? It's an absolutely beautiful goal. But every time I watch the replay, all I can think of is Diogo just woofing his cross into the Houston player, causing the deflection to Dominic.
How lucky was Bodie on that one?
Yeah, so lucky, right? That could have been a horrible turnover. This could have been, I mean, obviously everything is a this coulda, but with all that buildup and then the ball comes to him and kind of dies if it weren't for a lucky deflection. So I'm a little concerned about Bodie, man.
He's not had a good start to the year.
He's not at all in either position, either right wing or right back. Yeah, I'm a little worried about it. Not to take away from Luna. Beautiful goal, no mask, no problem.
Yeah, he decides to go maskless in this one, and then that ball's all the way at the end line across the field. Does a good job to cut back inside, takes on 2 defenders. Eventually plays it out to Ojeda. Ojeda gets it to Bodie. Bodie tries to cross it back in. The deflection ends up at Dominic, and then
beautiful dribble before to set himself up for that shot cross as well.
Yeah, man.
He's a tidy player.
By far the best game we've seen from Diego Luna this season.
Yeah, he's back, I think. I wish he had the ability to continue it on Saturday. Right, but national team, I get it. I hope he gets minutes.
Did the mask impact his play that much?
It has to.
I mean, I can't. It's not.
It would drive me nuts.
It's not a coincidence that he comes into this one maskless and he has his best game. And
it's got to affect your vision.
And he's shown frustration. I mean, you go back to the San Diego game where a play didn't go his way. Immediately takes off the mask, slams it down on the ground, and then kind of has it. He's kind of carrying it around for like the next couple of plays before putting it back on.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think he's required to wear it. It was probably just recommended.
Yeah,
I'm sure he just had enough, and he's willing to risk injury. Maybe he just wears it in training. I don't know. But I have one other thought on this goal. Do you think Diego ever actually saw that ball coming?
I don't think he did, man.
I think it just was pure luck.
Truthfully,
beautiful luck. But I can't imagine he really had any kind of ability to put a thought in before that thing hit him in the face. Dominic whipped that ball in so hard.
I think it came in, and he obviously saw it come in. I just don't think he necessarily had too much time to really redirect it.
No, that's what I mean. He saw it, and that was it. I
mean, obviously he did enough to redirect it to put it past Maurer, but I don't think there was any aim on that. I don't think there was really any kind of precision on it because it just came in like a missile, and then he just sticks his head out and puts it in.
I just can't get over it. I can't get over how hard he put that ball into.
Well, and that's why it makes me think that it's not a cross. That makes me
think it's a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, hey, again, super lucky goal for Real Salt Lake, but you'll take it at the end of the day.
I mean, I don't know if lucky is the right word because we were really working as a team. You know what I mean? We were really creating the chance there.
I say it's lucky because that deflection from Bodie Hidalgo is insane.
Okay, fair.
That goes straight to Dominic, and Dominic
In stride.
In stride. And that doesn't happen without a little bit of luck.
Hey, a little bit of luck makes magic moments.
There you go. And this one surely was for Diego.
Yeah, beautiful goal. I loved everything about it.
Can we just talk about how much I hate Houston?
Same. They're definitely in the bottom three. You got SKC Colorado tied for 1, and then you have Houston just right on their coattails.
Amin Bassi sucks. Can't stand him.
So annoying, man.
Escobar, can't stand him. Who else is on that team? Dorsey, can't stand him.
I definitely can't stand him.
The moment or the second that Real Salt Lake is celebrating, and given Dominic does give him a little fist bump in his face prior to, but Diego Luna's over here in the corner trying to celebrate his goal, and then Franco Escobar comes up and tries to start a fight, man.
I mean,
goes into Dominic and just tries to start a fight. Simple as that. And I can't tell you how much that made me hate Franco Escobar even more.
Absolutely. But props to the guys for not
falling for it.
Falling for the trap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good on Anelli, who came over and quickly pushed everybody away. Made sure
de-escalated like a good captain.
De-escalate the situation. That's what you want to see. We had a conversation earlier about the leadership of this group, and I think that moment really puts Emeka in a different light for me.
Absolutely. And it just solidifies that this is actually a rivalry.
Oh, 100%.
So
100%. All the action happened in the first half.
Yeah.
Not much to talk about in the second half, besides a couple of game-winning saves from Rafa Cabral.
Let's go. I love him.
I love him
so much. He's so good.
We say it every week.
We do. And I don't know if this is just like we finally just have a decent keeper and we haven't realized that before wasn't great. I don't want to say that because I do think McMath had good games.
Oh, absolutely.
Big saves, but Cabral's at a different level than McMath, obviously. So he absolutely kept us in this game as well. And I know it's hard to say, well, Josh, we've given up so many goals this year. I don't know the exact number, but it's a lot.
We've already given up 8.
I think it's safe to say that 90% of those, you can't blame the keeper one bit.
I agree.
And I think it's safe to say that he's kept teams from doubling that goal differential in a lot of ways. He's made some huge saves, man.
Specifically, 87th minute, Houston player crosses it in. There's another Houston player at the back post who heads it. Seems like it's going to go into the back of the net, but some way, somehow, Rafa Cabral is able to push it onto the post, comes crashing off the post, and basically seals the deal for Real Salt Lake, man.
My soul left my body, Alex.
Also, I think it's great that he recognizes that ball, the way it's coming in and the way that he's positioned, he's not going to be able to catch it cleanly, and so he just does enough to push it off the post and saves Real Salt Lake.
Yep.
It's beautiful.
Yep. How many times have you seen a goalkeeper try to catch a ball they had no business trying to catch?
And ends up spilling it right in front for a rebound?
Yep.
Plenty of times.
Yep.
Plenty of times.
Again, though, still a little bit of luck there, right? Because the post did save you. But I'll take it.
At the end of the day, first win in Houston since 2018 when Albert Rusnak scored 2 stoppage time goals to give Real Salt Lake a 2-1 win. Now it's a 2-1 win for Real Salt Lake thanks to Diego Luna, who wins MLS Star of the Match Day thanks to his goal and his assist in this one against Houston. And I know it's a hockey assist. MLS counts the hockey assist. We'll count it for the sake of the conversation. But really, It's Emeka Nelly's assist on that first goal.
Yeah, 100%.
Diego Luna, man, best game of his season. Diogo, best game of his season. And you can only hope and you only wish that that continues on into the next games.
Yeah, let's get another goal out of him on Saturday.
And he'll need to step up because, as we mentioned, no Diego and no Dominic, who have been two of the better driving attacking forces for Real Salt Lake.
You can almost say the only focal points.
Yeah,
everything goes through Dom on the right. Everything.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, there. I mean, you have Catranis, who's running up the left sideline and creating. We saw it against Seattle. Missed it against Houston, I think. I feel.
Yeah, I'd agree.
But you're going to have to rely heavily on now Catranis, if he starts, to come in and create on that left side. And then who knows who's going to step up on the right. And even probably a Tyler Wolff who's going to be on that left side alongside Catranis.
Yep. It's got to be Tyler Wolff and Lachlan Brook, right? It's got to be. But this game is really going to be a test of our depth, and we can really get a solid idea of what we have behind our two starters. Because right now, I don't think the sample size is big enough, right? Didn't show well necessarily in Champions League, and then just glimpses off the bench. So
yeah,
I'm very curious. It could be a very fun game, an unexpected game, or it could be a miserable affair. It's hard to say at this point.
Before we get into this FC Dallas preview, a couple questions coming out of this Houston game for me. First, I think the obvious, the defensive side of things.
The shakeups, I know there's depth, but the shakeups are getting a little extreme.
Yes.
Consistency would start to be nice to see.
I feel like you need to solidify your starting 11. You need to figure out who your best back four is going to be. I think that there's still a lot of questions for me on that right side. I know we said Hidalgo was probably your starter at that right back position, but as we mentioned, Josh,
things change.
We haven't really seen it yet from Bodie this season.
Not enough at all.
I don't like this weird left back rotation that they're doing. I get why they're doing it. I don't necessarily like it because I feel like we do lose a lot in the attack once you take Catranis off the field.
It's mind-blowing, to be honest. And Junkwa's done a good job.
Sure.
But he's a different player, right? He's a guy that you're going to expect to hold on to points for you, not create points.
Yeah. He's I think from what we've seen so far, I think Catranis gives you more in the attack than Junka.
Right.
But Junka's done a good job coming back and defending.
Right, but I still don't think he's a better player defensively than Catranis even. Right. He's fine cover. Don't see him as a long-term starter.
Plus, not the quickest.
No.
That
and when you're playing left wing back, right, you need to have wheels a little bit.
You need to have some speed. You need to have some pace. I do find it. I find it crazy, and I find it interesting that we keep hearing how much this coaching staff loves Sam Junka.
I mean, there's things we don't see, things we don't understand, and they'll probably remain that way. I'm not convinced that he's better than Catranis.
I haven't seen it yet. And I can't remember a time Catranis ever got burned on the left sideline like Junka did against San Diego.
No.
Yeah.
No, he would have at least gotten a foul in.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Take that yellow.
My life, your death. Literally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Also, look, Quinton had a really good game against Seattle.
Happy to see Vera back, though.
Yeah, didn't necessarily have the best performance against... I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't the best performance from Quinton against San Diego. Vera, he's your enforcer, man. I feel like you have to start Brian Vera. He's too good of a center back to be rotating with Quinton right now.
100%. To me, Quinton is still the third guy on the depth chart. It's got to be Vera Glad for me.
Probably fourth.
My argument to that, though,
I put Kobe. I put Kobe at 3.
I mean, here's my argument.
Sure.
I kind of want to see him get more minutes at right back and see if we can settle that argument because he's done well, especially because that's not really a right wing back, right? It's more of a settling in at the back 3 with that one. So
And that's a conversation I had with somebody who follows this team very closely, works with this team very closely, not necessarily associated, but is around. And he said that he would not be shocked and would not be surprised to continue to see Kobe Henry be right back.
Yeah, I could see him starting there at some point.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see it. He's shown more in his few substitute appearances at right back than I've seen out of Bodie or Brown.
Brown, I just hope continues. I just hope he comes around, man.
He just needs to get fit.
I keep hoping he comes around. Haven't seen it yet. Bodie's really struggled to start the year.
Yeah,
that right back position is completely up for grabs. Justin Glad, sorry, I owe you an apology. You're off to a good start.
Good player, man.
You're off to a good start this year. Maybe
there will be a dip. There will be a dip. There always is a dip, but he's a good center back, man.
As long as he can stay healthy, we'll be all right. We'll be all right. That's the key. Let's move on to this Dallas game, man. Let's move on to FC Dallas.
Another Texas team.
Another Texas team. This time you get them at home. FC Dallas kind of retooled this season. And I think
they have a lot of players missing, and this roster, I looked at it and like, what team is this? This isn't Dallas.
I say kind of retooled because, I mean, you do bring Lucho Acosta, which is a huge get for them.
Mm-hmm.
You do bring Anderson Julio, who has had a really, really good start to his time at Dallas.
I miss Julio.
I do too.
Elias Manuel is still dead to me.
However,
they brought in Abubakar.
Yeah, Lalas Abubakar is now with FC Dallas.
Gross.
But I mean, you brought in some decent pieces, but one, they're still trying to figure each other out, and two, I mean, besides Lucho, you brought in mid-quality MLS depth.
Yeah, this is going to sound terrible. Kind of feels RSL-y.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree. Does Lalas Abubakar really move the needle for you? What team that desperately needed center back depth last season?
Not even a little bit.
I love Anderson, but is he a starting caliber player in this league?
I mean, he wasn't when he was here. His role was coming off the bench as a super sub to salvage games.
That was always his best.
When he started, he was never that impactful.
That was always his best spot. Is coming off the bench. Who else did they bring in, man? I mean, they brought in a bunch of players from their academy. They brought in Pedrinho, who is a very unknown talent still in Major League Soccer.
They do have Musa.
Musa's a really good striker, and I think eventually him and Acosta will have a very, very good partnership. However, again, we've still yet to see it.
Let's hope we don't see it Saturday.
This would be the worst game for FC Dallas to finally start clicking.
Right, and that's what scares me is, we can probably our odds of holding up defensively are fairly high, right? But there's no way we can get any kind of dogfight in this one.
No, you don't want this to be a situation against like San Diego, because
right.
You want to punch your ticket and you want to punch your goal as soon as you can.
Yep, and maybe 2 or 3 if you can.
Don't even give
a big ask, but this is going to be a tricky one, especially with our missing players.
Yeah, don't give Lucho Acosta any chance to impact the game.
That's a big ask.
It is a big ask.
Ojeda and Ellie are going to be busy boys.
I mean, Chicago and Bert Halter did a pretty good job of it 2 weeks ago. Vancouver.
I'm not saying it can't be done, but the talent is there for Dallas to kind of make this one messy.
Right. Shaq Moore, also one of their additions, had a phenomenal game, but still not enough, as Dallas still trying to figure out who Dallas is.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day,
let's just hope they don't figure it out on Saturday.
They're just trying to figure it out, man. And I think Real Salt Lake knows who they are. I think we know who Real Salt Lake is. If there's link-up, build-up play, as we've seen against San Diego, as we've seen against Houston, as we saw against Seattle, there's going to be opportunities. And again, the biggest question for me for Real Salt Lake is going to be, can you finish those chances? Can you finish those opportunities?
Yeah, I think Ari's going to bag a goal this game, maybe two. Would you consider shaking up the midfield for this one a bit and have Palacio step in, or do you think that's too many changes? Because I think Palacio might do a better job against a Lucho type.
I think for this one, man, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing a Palacio come in, mostly because
wingers shifting out though, like that's a lot of.
Well, I think in this one you're going to have to get a little bit creative in getting forward. You're going to have to get a little bit more creative without Diogo. You're going to have to be a little bit more creative without Dominic. And so Palacio always does
gives you that threat from range.
There you go. He always
in the game.
Yeah, there you go, man.
This is the other thing I would like to see. I'd like to see Diogo on the left, Pablo Ruiz.
I was about to say.
Yep.
Let's
get weird.
I was about to say, honestly, this is a game where you can probably start Nelson and Ruiz in that midfield.
Yeah. No, I'm saying Pablo at the 10.
Okay, yeah. And Diogo out wide?
Yep. And then you still have, a Palacio, Ojeda, or Anelli.
Yeah.
In behind, right? So you're still creative, right? You still have a lot of ways you can score, right? That gives you three guys that can score from distance immediately.
Mm-hmm.
But it also gives you a little bit more defensive cover, front to back.
I think, you have to find ways to replicate and replace the creativity you're losing with no Diego, with no Dominic, and I think you have to start Ruiz in this one.
I think so too.
Because he's probably your most creative when Diego's not available.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of crazy to say considering he hasn't played in 2 years. He's still going to bring in a lot of creativity going forward. And he's going to track back. He's going to get dirty defensively.
Exactly. And that's what we're going to need in this game.
You have to start
especially when we're thin attacking ones.
And I would love to see a Palacio start.
I think this is a perfect game for a Palacio.
Yep.
I really do.
Predictions? Do you dare? Do you dare?
Nope.
Real Salt Lake taking on FC Dallas this weekend on Saturday at America First Field. Kickoff at 7:30. You can catch that at America First Field. Get your tickets. Go be there. Go support the boys. Go support Real Salt Lake. If you can't, Apple TV is the place for you. Josh, any last thing you want to add? Throw out there before we wrap this one up, man.
I'm going to ask a question for listeners.
Do it.
If you've been to Old Trafford before, send me your tips. I need tips. I'm starting to freak out a little bit. It's getting real close. Not freaking out in a bad way, just getting anxious. I'd like to know some cool things to do in the area or tips for game day. So if you have those, let me know.
And hit us up on Instagram for Josh. Also hit us up if you want to guest fill in, because Carson is still on vacation and now Josh is going on vacation. So they're leaving me behind, and we're gonna need someone to come in and fill in for a little bit.
You feeling lonely? You feeling lonely, Alex?
Yeah, man. You guys are leaving me. That's okay. Enjoy your vacation.
Just for 2 weeks.
Just for 2 weeks.
Just for 2 weeks.
That's going to do it for us here on the RSL Show on the KSL Sports Network. Don't forget to go like. Don't forget to go subscribe. Don't forget to go follow. Don't forget to go do what you have to do to follow the RSL Show for the best RSL content. We'll talk to you guys next week after this FC Dallas game.